Okay, before we go any further, we're working on our doors over here while I'm working on the body of the Jeep. What's going on? How you doing this?
I just got to finish this little section of this door.
Okay, I understand that, but what are you doing? How are you doing it to make it paint ready?
I'm just sanding it with 320, that's all.
Okay, so you got your roll of stick-on 320, and what's this for?
A block for the flat places.
Okay.
But there's not a lot of flat places.
So on all the flat spots, which is underneath here, we're going to be looking at in a minute, you're using the block with your stick-on 320.
Right.
And then on your door jambs itself, you're going ahead and sanding that by hand.
Just doing it by hand. The only way you can do it.
Now, is that a long process situation?
It's time-consuming, but you know it goes pretty fast.
Yeah.
The paint's old, so it's not like it's hard.
Is there any
to sand.
tech tips you can give anybody out there about doing that?
Just take your time and get it done. The better job you do, the better your paint will look.
Right, right.
Because it's all the paint job's all in the prep work.
Now, what about like in here? What are you doing like in this area here where you gotta get in that gap there? How you
got to just fold your paper up. That's what I do, and
Yeah.
then just
get in there the best you can?
yeah.
Okay, and then
You
can we
know,
flip
and like in the little grooves here. And you do got to do that because if you don't sand it all in there, then the new paint's not going to stick it all in there, and then you're going to have a flaking problem.
Now, a lot of guys out there, girls, they might not want to do the jams. So, if you were not going to do the jams, where would you stop sanding it at?
Right here on this lip.
Well, what if you weren't even going to take the doors off? Well, you would just sand the outside and then kind of take your finger and scuff this edge up here?
Just the very edge,
all the way around?
Yeah,
Okay.
and you would just, from the outside, you would just, as
Right,
best
make sure
you
that it
can.
gets sanded, because if you don't get at least to the square of this lip
And
here,
what
the
you can
paint will
do-
peel off.
What you can do is you'll fold your paper and you'll stick it in between the panels.
Okay.
And then you can just kind of do like this,
And that'll give a good
that'll
scuff
get
job.
the edge here so that your paint will stick on the edge.
But the real deal on a particular vehicle like this, when you got these hinges that are hidden and all this, it's better to go ahead and try to remove the parts.
Yeah, because you don't want your paint to peel off after
Because
you've
this
gone
is a
through
scuff and paint job,
after
but
you've gone through all the work.
Right.
You don't want it to peel off anywhere, so you got to really be careful about the little edges and stuff.
because this is a scuff and paint job, but I'm showing them how to do it the professional way.
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
You need to wipe that down. Is that 320? Okay, so it's already paint ready.
Yeah.
All right, I'm looking right here. What's going on with that? What is
Those were
that?
deep gouges in the paint all the way to the metal.
Right.
So instead of sand,
Or DA it and feather
or
it out.
DA it and feather it down, I just mixed me up a little bit of Evercoat.
Can you go ahead and show that to us and give us a little example of what you're doing? What is Evercoat? What do you mean? Polyester filler?
Yeah, it's a filler. I call it Evercoat.
Okay, finishing putty. There you
Yeah,
go.
Evercoat's a brand name.
I don't like to advertise, so if anybody's looking at that,
Don't
please
look at that.
discard that. So we're looking at polyester premium finishing putty, and then you would mix that up in very small amounts, am I correct?
Yeah, I'll show you, because
Okay.
it's just very small.
Okay, so let's see what kind of amount. To fix a little, a situation like this right here, let's see what Minnie's talking about.
Just take me out some.
So that's
like
all
that.
you're using right there?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Just
a dab.
And then, so your hardener would just be just barely a dab.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
Huh.
Mix her up real good till it's all the same color.
Uh-huh.
And then.
So now you're mixed it up. It's all, you
Yeah.
don't see any streaks or anything.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how do you apply that with this thing here?
No, that's way
Okay.
too big. So I just take me a little bit like this.
On the end of your razor blade.
And then I'm not going to do it on the
Let's
panel.
just say here's a dent right there. Look. Oh my God, I just scratched it.
Yeah, and then you would fill it in.
Huh. Okay.
You know.
Okay. And then you let that dry, and then come back. And now, would you use 320 on that, or hit it with 180, or what?
If you've done it properly and you've just put it just where it needs to be, 320 is all right. But if you left a big glob of it,
Like this right here,
yeah,
for
if
instance.
you left a big glob of it on there, then you
You're
don't
gonna
want
have to go to 180 or something
you
to
need
start
to go.
out.
Yeah, you need to go to a little bit stronger, bust it down,
Yeah.
and then smooth it back out.
All right,
with
so
your
this would be for our
320.
scuff and paint job. If you come across chips or gouges in your paint, you can always come back and take the
Yeah.
polyester filler and fill them in just like Minnie did.
Yeah, because
There's another one right there.
if you don't, you will see that in
After
your
you
new
paint
paint
it.
job. It won't. The paint won't just magically fill it in and level itself out.
Right.
You will see that imperfection in your new paint.
So basically what you're telling people out there is all depending on how you want the quality of the paint job.
Exactly.
You can do it this way, or if you don't really care and you just want to, put a new fresh coat of paint in, that's an optional thing there.
Exactly.
But the way that we do work over here, that's what we do when we do our scuff and paints on all cars. And we like to make sure that, the job is a high quality paint job. Okay, thank you, Minnie. Is that door ready to paint? Body shop girl.
I got just a little spot on the inside, and then yes.
Okay, so you got both doors done.
Yeah.
What are you working on next?
Then I'll get the tailgate done,
Okay,
and
then I'll DA the hood down, and then we
uh,
start doing all the edges.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Now that we're done DA sanding the whole vehicle, I want to go ahead and show this to you. There was a little imperfection right here. I went ahead and took some of that polyester filler and went ahead and filled that in. Now what I'll do tonight before I go home, because we're not going to paint this till tomorrow, is I'll go ahead and spot prime that, and then tomorrow when I come back it'll be a quick, easy sand job. But what you're looking at here, you are looking at the vehicle that has been DA sanded down. Now, I want you to pay attention right here. We did DA it down with 320, but see the shiny area right here? We have got to get rid of that, and that's the next step in doing a nice, clean, professional scuff and paint job. And what we're going to do, we're going to do two things. We're going to take some 320 dry, and we're also going to go ahead and use some gray scotch-brite. We don't want to use the red scotch-brite. Gray scotch-brite's the way to go. That's the fine scotch-brite. And we're going to come back and take our scotch-brite, and then we will scotch-brite everywhere that hasn't been sanded. We might even go over the whole car just to make sure that we get everything. And on the spots that are still shiny, and also in this groove, if Minnie could come over here and show us how to get that groove cleaned out, because we got to go over the whole thing, because the DA sander won't fit in there. So what do you do to clean those out?
Give me a piece of paper, and I fold it up. And
Now, do you fold it real tight?
Yeah, fold it tight, and I literally shove it in the groove, and then I kind of shove it in the groove
And then go back and
lean
forth
it this
on each
way,
side, right?
and then shove it in the groove and lean it this way.
Now let's say that we don't do that and we just take this scotch-brite, we go, oh, okay, that's done. Is that going to work?
No, because
What's going to happen?
the paint's going to go in there, but it's not going to adhere, stick to anything.
Right.
So a little bit down the way, it's going to let loose, and then it's all going to start.
It's going to start flaking and peeling off. So that's one of the most important things,
Yeah.
is all these little grooves where the
Every-
panels meet.
Yeah, every crevice has to be done that
And
way.
even right in this area here, wouldn't you say that's a crucial area
That's
too?
a critical area too, and once again, you want to fold not in a real tight,
Kind
but
of a rounded edge.
just a little rounded edge, so that you can actually get in there.
Right, I
See?
can see that. I can see how you're doing that with that nice.
Yeah.
And you're not even really pushing hard. You're
Not
letting the
pushing
sandpaper
hard,
do
just
the work.
yep. But you've got to get in there, because that paint's not going to stick if it doesn't.
And then
if
what'll
it's not
happen
roughed up.
is it'll start flaking and peeling off in
Yeah,
those
and
areas.
it may not do it on day one, but it will do it.
So it's basically about attention to detail.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's look at that grill. Tell us what's going on with that, because that's kind of an intricate piece to sand. It's taking you, what, about an hour and a half to get that done?
Yeah, because you got to get all.
This is all, now hold on, let's just tell everybody, this is all hand sanding here, no DAs on the grill.
Right. I did use a block to help a little bit on the inside edges and on the flat
Now when you're using a
parts.
block, does that actually really work better than if you just use your hand? And why?
It can, just because it's a
flat
bigger
surface.
flat area. Exactly.
And when you use your fingers, you have grooves in it.
You'll
It's not
have a
really
groove, yeah.
not really
On-
covering
on
everything.
small little areas like this, it's okay to use your fingers because you're not going to make a groove in that. But you wouldn't want to do this big
Exactly,
area.
because the grooves in between your fingers are missing a lot, and you're going to put grooves in the paint.
Yeah, you don't think you are, but believe me, there are grooves there.
Right.
So on, like you were saying, on the grill, you just got to make sure that you get all the little nooks and crannies and corners, and you also want to get this back edge too.
Right.
You just want to,
Run
that's
down it, that's
sufficient like that. But you got to do that.
What about the edges like in here? Even though there's going to be a lens holding that in there,
Yeah,
would you still do that?
yeah, you still want to do it. I mean, it's just quick.
Well, that would be a preference on something like that, but if you want to do a professional job and ensure the job is a high quality job, you
Yeah,
would do
I mean, 5 seconds. I mean,
Right. What about this
know.
groove here? That looks like a big groove
Yeah,
there.
you
That's
do-
that's a bigger groove than most of them.
yeah, you definitely want to do in there because your paint goes everywhere and it is going to flow inside there. So you want to fold your paper up, and that way it gets it
Right.
as
Just
far.
get as far as you can and as good as you can.
Yeah. I mean, it
Okay.
doesn't have to be perfect, but it's going to be roughed up enough that it's going to allow the paint to stick.
Now we got the scotch-brite. What are we using that for? I thought the scotch-brites were here to help us. What's going on with that?
Well, yeah, scotch-brite is always helpful, but it's on bigger panels.
Just to ensure.
Yeah, I mean, because it makes a little bit cleaner area, so you can see a little bit better about what
So
you're
would you
doing.
suggest to do a high-quality professional job just to go over the whole thing once with a scotch-brite,
Yeah.
gray scotch-brite, once you're done
320
sanding?
at DA 320, and then Scotch-Brite to make sure you didn't
Minnie the
miss
Body
anything.
Shop girl showing us how to do a professional high-quality job at your house, in your garage, or maybe in your driveway, or somewhere where you're going to say, I want a nice high-quality job. I don't want a scuff and paint, but it is a scuff and paint, and it's going to be a professional job when I get done. Girl,
Yeah,
Minnie the Body Shop girl.
Yeah.
Anything else?
it'll still look good. Scuff and
Okay.
paint still look good.
But you got to know how to scuff them down to paint them. That's the trick.
Yeah, it's all the prep. It's
Yeah.
all in the prep. Any paint job's all in the prep.
Now, do you want to show everybody where we're going to cut this paint job off? Because sometimes you don't want to paint all the engine compartment.
Oh,
So it's always
yeah.
handy to find cutoff points to where you're going to tape it off. What are we going to do on this one?
absolutely, because we are not painting inside the engine compartment.
Yeah, we've already made that clear to them.
Yeah. So,
So where would you cut it
finding our
off?
cutoff lines, it's pretty much common sense. You look at the fender, okay, you're going to cut it off here on your fender, and then you're going to tape off this little section here.
Right.
You're going to cover that up, and your grill, since you're painting your grill, you can see where your grill
Spot
is.
welded on.
Yeah, so you're
So we're
just
just
going to
gonna come
paint
right around
just
that
the
edge.
grill itself, and we're going to cover all this back part up.
And then the whole engine compartment will be covered
Yeah.
when we paint it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then of course on your back wall here,
All right.
you go right here,
Okay.
and all that'll be painted. And then,
And then, of course, we still got to paint the windshield with it inside and out.
yeah, so
so-
we'll be taking the glass off inside and out,
All right.
covering the dash up.
Yeah. Let's get to work. Let's get this thing in the paint booth. We're going to take one last look at it, sanded and prepped.
We're very close, very close, very
But
close.
what we've been showing you here is basically an easy, simple scuff and paint job that says, you know what? We're going to do it at home, and we're going to do it right because Minnie the Body Shop girl says, hell yes.
Hell yeah, let's get her done.
All right. Once we're all done sanding the vehicle down, the next thing that you want to do, you want to go ahead and blow it off real good, making sure that you get all the dust, dirt, particles, and possibly leaves or trash that accumulated in the engine compartment or up in the fender wells. You want to get all that blown off, making sure to get all the crevices very good everywhere that you sanded, and just a good overall cleanup using your blower and air. It's very important to make sure that all the dust particles and all the trash are completely gone, and the only way to ensure that is step one, and that is to blow it off very well. So Minnie will go ahead and get that done. Once we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and take our hose. We're not going to use any soap whatsoever. We'll take the hose and a clean sponge, and we will wash the car off thoroughly to make sure that all of the dirt and debris, grease and slime are completely gone off of the vehicle before we pull it into the paint booth and paint it. All right, so now that we've washed the vehicle off and we've completely cleaned it inside and out the best possible way that we can, because we're going to go ahead and tape the inside of the vehicle off. So we're not really worried about that, but we want to make sure that all the dust, trash, and debris is completely out of it the best way possible. You won't be able to get everything out of it, but you should be able to clean it out good enough and thoroughly enough to get a clean paint job. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to tape our vehicle off, and we're going to do it the professional way. So what's going on?
Taking this windshield off so we can get this Jeep painted.
Okay, so what are you doing there? I mean, you're putting paper on it, I see, but what are you...
Well, the paper's too big, obviously, so I'm cutting it down.
So you're using a razor blade to cut it down with?
Yeah, just a razor blade. It doesn't have to be exact or anything like that.
So let's talk about tape for a minute. What kind of tape are you using?
We are using tape that is specifically made for automotive use, and that is extremely important.
Right.
Because other tapes, maybe the tack on them is different. And you may not be able to tell just by looking at it or feeling it, but the tack is different on automotive tape than it is on
house paint tape.
House paint tape, yes.
And another thing about house paint tape, once you put it on, it's very hard to get off once paint hits it and penetrates into it.
And there's like a chemical bonding reaction.
Now, another thing that we're looking at here, we're looking at professional paint and body paper. All right, and a lot of people at home will be using newspaper to do this. But the advantage of using this paper here, and I believe a roll of this paper is only like $10. Am I right? 18-inch paper is only $10.
Yeah, it's not really expensive.
And the advantage of using that is, if we look over here, it comes in a roll. Now, you don't have to have a paper machine like I have right here, but you can actually set it up somehow or another to where you can make the roll work in your benefit by rigging up a system that will be basically like what you're looking at here. So you got your tape at the bottom, it comes across, it hits the paper, and then it comes out the bottom here, and then of course you would cut it off or tear it off, and then it would be a paper machine. So what we're going to do to make a nice professional paint job, and once again, I'm using professional quality paper here. The owner is going to round line the inside of this. So what I'm doing, and I'll show you that once I get that on there, is I am basically taping around the inside lip on the Jeep. So I'm going around all the edges just like you're watching. Once I go around the edges, the next thing I'll do is I will put some plastic inside here. Now, if you don't have any plastic, you're going to have to find other means. Do not use ABS plastic, that type of plastic, like what we would buy at Home Depot, the real thick mill plastic. The paint will not stick to it, so every time you go to paint some paint on it, the paint will flake off and fly in your paint job. Once again, this is a professional way of doing this, and I advise you to at least go buy some professional automotive plastic to cover your vehicle with that is not going to get painted. Now, another thing is this is a Jeep. You might not be painting a Jeep at home. You might be painting a car or a pickup truck where you don't need plastic. You might want to put the plastic in the bed of your truck, but if you're painting a four-door car, the only thing you're going to do is tape your jambs off properly and then paint it. So we're taking it to the extreme, and I'm going through everything to show you how to do a scuff and paint job. Let me get all this taped off. We got a lot of taping to do here. We're going to walk around the tape job and show you what the professional scuff and paint tape job looks like, and then we'll take it from there.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.